Well, folks, we have a very special show today with a very special guest on the DNVR Rockies podcast. It is the Rockies' top prospect, Charlie Condon. Charlie, thank you, first of all, for being on the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. Look, man, I ever since you got drafted, I've been super pumped to get the chance to sit down and talk with you because I love the way that you played ball out at Georgia, and now getting to see you in the Rockies organization, it's going to be super cool. I got to ask you, though, I mean, it's been a whirlwind of a month. I think your final game with Georgia was on like the 10th of June, and then you kind of jumped right into playing ball with the Indians. Is it still as hectic as it's been, or are things starting to kind of find a rhythm now?
No, it's settled down a little bit now. You get into that draft process and things are going really fast and you don't really know, when you're going to get to play ball again, which is really what it's all about. The draft process is fun, but really for me, I'm just most excited about getting out and playing baseball again. So once I got out to the complex in Arizona and put some names to faces out there and then sent out here to Spokane, it's been good. Things have slowed down a little bit and back to playing baseball, which is good.
Yeah, look, man, we I know there's a lot of hype for you, not only in Spokane but also here in Denver, which is one of the reasons we wanted to have you here on the show. Speaking of the hype, though, when you had your first at bat with Spokane, I think it was at Geisa Stadium. Everyone in the press box at the Rockies game, we all tuned in. We were all watching your first at bat, and I got to say, your first swing, like the camera, when you hit that ball, the camera panned up super fast as if it was going to go 500 feet out to left field. And all of us were sitting there like, oh my God, he just hit a home run in his first at bat. I know it ended up being a fly out to left field. Did you feel like, was there a moment where you thought, holy crap, that ball might get out of here?
No, not really. I mean, I could kind of tell that one beat me in a little bit. It was a good swing, but just got in on me a little bit. I knew that one didn't really deserve to go out, but it was, just fun to have that first at bat.
Yeah, oh, totally. Well, and it speaks to the excitement that Rockies fans have, and you're very familiar with this. The Rockies organization, we're all looking towards kind of the future of what the next generation of Rocky stars is going to be. So, in that theme, there's obviously a lot of pressure that comes with that, the top pick, top prospect for the Rockies organization. How do you, as a player, a young player, kind of manage those expectations and stay grounded with all of that hype?
Yeah, for me, it's always kind of just been about holding myself to the same standard, no matter where I've been. So like, coming through Georgia when I was first there, I didn't have a lot of expectations on myself, but I still held myself to a high standard to be the best baseball player I could. And so as things got, progressed more along and I started to have some more expectations around me, just kind of having that same mentality that I'm always going to expect the most out of myself more than anybody expects out of me is kind of how I keep everything kind of the same as I continue to progress. Just hold myself to a high standard no matter what. So I've been doing that for a while now, and so just um, relying on that internal expectation to push me.
Well, I would imagine that your time at Georgia probably helped shape that as well. Talk to me a little bit about your years playing at Georgia. You had a lot of success there. How did that shape you into the player that you are today?
Yeah, just my time at the University of Georgia, like from start to finish, like I don't really think could have gone any better. I mean, obviously people talk about me not playing my freshman year and things like that, but just the experience I got that year, just can't really be quantified for me. Just because I got to sit around and be around a bunch of veteran SEC players that have been playing the game for so long and see how they went about it while without getting kind of thrown into the fire right away. So that year was big for me, and then continuing to move forward, just having a role in an SEC program is about the best thing you can ask for at the college baseball world. And so just getting to represent that university too was something that I'll always be proud of and cherish. But just yeah, there was a lot of fun times there. I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, I would imagine that the baseball team probably got overshadowed a little bit by Georgia football. But did you feel like that kind of motivated you and the rest of the team? Being on such a powerhouse SEC team, a college like Georgia, and getting to kind of compete against the football fan base as well. Did that motivate you to have the success that you guys as a team had?
No, 100%. Obviously Georgia football's reputation and fan base is completely deserved, and there's nothing you can take away from that. But I think it just goes to show how big Dog Nation is, and how many people there are out there that are really truly supportive of all UGA sports. It's easier to pull for a team that's doing well. And so I think that's kind of where we started to make strides this year, was trying to turn that baseball program around to draw some of that football crowd back out to other sports. And so, that's kind of what it was all about. And so just kind of pushing to, I mean, when we're in fall ball and we're going to football games, and just seeing that atmosphere and what's brought to the table when you're playing good ball in whatever sport it is, it's motivating for us to go out and be like, hey, if we make a run and do what we did and like bring a super back to us. It was really cool to see how different our stadium looks just once we started winning some ball games and bringing the postseason back to us. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, and look, man, you're 6'6". I'm sure you've heard it before. You're built like a tight end. Has football ever been a consideration for you? I mean, you grew up in Georgia. Was that ever like, hey, maybe one day I'll play football instead, or was baseball kind of the go-to since you were young?
Man, in like early high school, like early recruiting process, I wasn't having a ton of baseball interest, and so I was kind of trying to look at going to like a D3 academic and playing quarterback in baseball somewhere. But I never really had any interest at playing football at too high of a level. I wasn't particularly good, and I wasn't particularly interested in going out there and getting rocked every weekend. But just it was something that I miss. I miss the games. I miss high school, but definitely not at a school like Georgia would I have ever been capable of playing football at the next level.
Hey, we appreciate that you stuck with baseball and kept your talents on the baseball side. Let's kind of talk about that specifically. So I know right now, you're listed, on your player profile. You can play outfield, third base, first base, but I want to hear from your perspective. Like, what's your most comfortable position? Where do you feel the most confident, and where does that fit in your future with the Rockies organization?
Yeah, so for me, I kind of started bouncing around playing a lot of different positions this most recent year in college. And so that's something that I've kind of taken a lot of pride in, and, really just having something to perfect my craft in at practice every day. It's you can always hit every day and do things like that, but to challenge myself to take defensive reps in both the outfield and the infield is something that I really enjoyed, and it's something that I'm going to continue to do. And until obviously the time just I fall into a slot somewhere. But just I don't really think there's one that I feel more comfortable with over the other. So I think that's kind of the benefit and why it works for me, is that like I don't think there's a day that I see a position I'm like, oh, I feel less comfortable here. I wish I was somewhere else. Like that's just not really the case. And so I think they're just continuing to work and to feel comfortable in all those spots is kind of my goal.
Yeah. Oh, totally. That makes sense. And we all know about your offensive side of the game. You've got that big long swing. You're a very powerful hitter. Is there part of you that it kind of dreams of getting to use that power here in Denver at the Mile High City? At elevation. Is that sit in the back of your mind a little bit, that you might get to take some swings up at Coors Field one day?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's kind of impossible not to. It's something that's really fun to think about, and obviously something that's got to be earned. And so I'm going to continue to kind of keep my eyes on what's in front of me and taking it one game at a time here at whatever level I'm at. But that's 100% in my vision. Just being really excited about that, but earning every step of the way to get there.
Yeah, I was going to ask, have you ever been to Denver before? Is that somewhere that you've traveled to, or is that new on your travel list?
I think I've been to the airport, but I don't think I've been outside of it. I think I maybe connected through there, or landed there for a vacation or something, but I haven't spent a ton of time in Colorado.
That's unfortunate, because the airport is about 50 miles from anything in Denver. But yeah, that's. I mean, it's a pretty touristy spot. I think a lot of people agree that the airport is at least something you got to check off your bucket list. But I wanted to ask, I wanted to ask specifically. A lot of players, especially young players, coming through an organization, talk a lot about people that had a big influence in their careers. Is there someone in particular or a group of people in particular that have had a significant influence in your career in getting to where you are today?
Yeah, 100%. The first people that come to mind for me are my parents. They're what helped me get into baseball and what helped keep me in the game. Especially my dad, just as far as keeping my head on straight and things like that. He and my brother were what got me into baseball, and so just having them in my corner at all times makes this way easier on me. And then there's a whole list of people that I can go through that help my actual physical game develop to where it is today, whether it be travel ball organizations, my hitting coach back home, and just the University of Georgia. There's so many people and so many people within those, like between those lines that have, it might not be huge things, but just little bits and pieces that help me become who I am now. That, I mean, it's honestly, it's a list that I probably would have to sit down for a couple hours to write down all the names on, but I've been lucky to have those people.
Totally. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I gotta ask. I kind of saw in a news article, a few weeks back that something about when you're finished playing baseball one day, you might end up going back to Georgia to finish your finance degree. Is that something you want to pursue? Is that kind of a big part of your non-baseball side of life?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I think my parents would appreciate me getting my degree, whenever that time may be. Ideally, it's not for the next 15 to 20 years, but I think that whenever baseball does come to an end for me, because it does for everybody, just having a plan to live a normal life after that, and so I think that, yeah, I can see myself going back to Georgia to finish that up. It'd probably look a little different than when the last time I was there, hopefully, but just it's something I'll keep in mind, but not too focused on it right now.
Hey, maybe even get a chance to be a part of that, Georgia baseball organization again from a different angle. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty cool. But hey, I gotta ask. I mean, so I wanted to kind of play this game with you. Run down a list of questions. A lot of the fans on Twitter were wanting me to really get to know you kind of beyond just the baseball side of things. So I've got a bunch of questions. Want you to try to answer them in like 10 seconds or less. And I'm just going to kind of
Okay.
go down the list. So is that cool?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Favorite MLB player, past or present?
Um, Chipper Jones.
Okay. What's on your sports bucket list?
Um, let's see. I would say world playing in the World Series.
It's a good one. Life bucket list.
Um, I would say just like raising a family.
Nice. That's a good one. That's a good one. I love it. What is a useless talent of yours, if you have any?
Let's see. I can juggle, but that's about it. I feel like most baseball players can do that, but it's pretty much useless. But also, you can at least say you can do it.
Yeah, I mean that is as pretty much as useless as it gets. What is the weirdest food that you enjoy?
Oof. Let's see. I'm not like extremely picky, but I also like don't eat incredibly outlandish foods. I'm trying to think. Um, I don't know. I like some seafood, which I mean, that's really not that weird about it. I haven't eaten like I'm not a big raw fish guy. Like I don't love like raw sushi or anything like that, but I like like grouper and good smoked fish like that.
I was going to say, yeah, growing up in Georgia, I don't know if Georgia's known for, seafood variety as much. So that's not a bad answer. I'll take it. What's the dumbest way you've ever gotten hurt?
When I was little, or not little, but when I was younger in middle school, back when Dude Perfect was hitting it big on YouTube, I was, throwing footballs and basketballs from way too far, trying to make them in a basketball hoop, and I separated my growth plate in my elbow, was in a cast for a long time trying to recreate Dude Perfect trick shot videos. So
Nice.
I'd say that was probably my dumbest.
That's good. That's a good one. Did you at least make it?
There might have been a couple in there, but I don't think it was anything that was going to rival what they had going on.
Not worth it, probably. Not worth it. All right, that makes sense. All right, last one on this. What is your irrational fear, if you have one?
Um, I'm really bad with snakes. Some people, I feel like it's not that weird of one, but anything snake related, it could be the most harmless thing ever. I'm just not, not going with those.
Okay, so no future with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Non-snake
Yeah,
related teams only. All right, that works. All right,
correct.
perfect. I appreciate that. Last few questions before we let you off the hook. Got a hypothetical for you. I've got 3 questions here based off this hypothetical. If you were to get called up to the big leagues today, 3 questions. What is your walk-up song that you're choosing? Who is the first phone call that you make? And who is the first current Rockies player that you would want to meet in the clubhouse?
Okay. Dang. Okay, so first walk up song, I think that's tough because I had the same one in college every year, but I don't think I'm moving on from that one. I don't know. I'd probably go something kind of beachy, kind of reggae. I don't know if I have like a specific one in mind, but
Okay.
maybe a Bob Marley, something kind of laid back. I
Nice.
would first call would 100% be my parents, without a doubt. And then player I'd be most excited about meeting would be um, probably either Chris Bryant, McMahon, Charlie Blackman, and then also I got to shout out my guy Aaron Shunk. I haven't met him yet, but I know he's another Bulldog, so it'd be
Oh
cool
yeah.
to get to see him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I
think that's my answer.
Nice. I'll take it. I think also Bradley Blaylock, although he did not go to Georgia, to my understanding, he was a Georgia kid growing up. So you got a couple
Okay,
Georgia
yeah,
kids out in Colorado. Hopefully you can get out here to Coors Field as soon as possible, man. Look, I appreciate you taking the time, and I know all of us in Denver are rooting for your success. We're keeping up on everything that you're doing, and we wish you nothing but the best. So thank you again for taking the time.
appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's been fun. Good luck out there. That was Charlie Condon, everyone, joining us on the show.